Hey, how's it going? I'm back. Yeah, I had some kind of odd payment thing going. I ran out of storage for YouTube, and oh, I guess I should probably speak up. I ran out of storage for YouTube, and that's why I wasn't recording any videos. And I discovered a really messed up little thing with their system. I was paying for the bargain basement plan, and I had enough to buy that again, but they wouldn't let me do it until the next month day that I previously purchased it rolled around. But the other option was upgrade. And I was like, God, I don't just have money flowing out of my ass. But I did some scraping and found the money to upgrade, and then I kept trying to just like I had the money in my account and it didn't want to accept it on my debit card, and I was like, okay, well this really sucks. And then I found some place where I had enough points to redeem like a prize, a gift, or whatever. But anyway, I instead of getting an Amazon card, which I normally do, I got a Visa cash card. And so it didn't want to accept that. And it wanted to put a hold on it. And I'm like, okay. So once I used it, it took all of the money, which was over the amount, which I did not appreciate. And I talked to them, and they're all, oh, did you do this, that, and the other thing? And I'm like, yeah, I don't go asking you for stuff, any of you companies, until I have exhausted everything that I can do. So the other thing he said was, get back to us and let us know how it's going. And I was like, it's not going anywhere. Can you not read? And so I guess there was a hold. And so since I had no more money, I had no choice but to wait for a hold. And the hold, it's like, it was supposed to end in 24 hours. It didn't. So I was pissed because they like took all of my money that I, whatever, I kind of had to scrape. Like I saved those points gifts for emergencies, and I guess this was one. But you want to, like, after you pay your money, you want the emergency to be fixed, not get worse. So I've just been kind of like, okay. Well, first couple of days I was just all bent out of shape. And then finally I was like, can't really do anything about it that I know of right now, so might as well stop wasting time being mad about it. And today, when I went to the doctor, of all places, I was talking about the issue with my caregiver, and a nurse overheard me, and they like fixed the problem for me. So it was just funny because I sure didn't go there expecting that to happen. I'd actually already kind of given up and was resigned to just waiting until I got paid again, which is once a month. So it's like, but yeah, it got fixed. And it's funny because as soon as I gave up, like, all right, forget it, I can't do nothing, it's over, and then it got fixed. So that's why I'm just talking and not doing cards yet. I wanted to talk about some other things that happened while I was not able to do this. And it was pretty amazing, some of it. Like Saturday, I was out on my little tiny deck where I go to meditate. And it was like 9 in the morning or something like that. It was pretty early. There's certainly like nothing out but me and animals at that time of day. And I had my eyes closed and I heard all this like bird noise, and there's always bird noise out there. It wasn't unusual, but this was like really strident, and I was like, wait, that's like screaming. So I opened up my eyes and I look, and I live in a place that it's not the name of my town, but they call it Hawks Prairie because, you know, before they put all the stuff on the land like where I am right now, it was a prairie, and I guess it was full of hawks because it still is. That was one of the sounds that I was hearing, was a hawk screaming. So I open up my eyes and I see a hawk in the air, and it looks like it's got like a rat or some kind of small rodent. I mean, I don't know like how far out it was from me, but it was up high. You know, birds, they're up in the air. So I don't know how far it was, but it looked like it could have been a rat. Something small, because hawks are not like gigantic. And the reason why it was screaming is because a bald eagle was chasing it. And that thing wanted to take the rat. And then I said, everything I just said took way longer than that whole scene to play out, because by the time I registered the hawk being chased by the eagle, another hawk swooped in. It was like dive bombing the eagle. So it turned into like Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom out there. And I generally don't bring my phone to meditate because that would kind of defeat the point, right? So I didn't bring it, but it was just sitting inside the doorway from me on like the counter or the whatever, some kind of. I put it down, and yeah, I couldn't have. It would have been useless. So that was interesting, right? And what else? Something else happened. Well, oh, the appointment that I went to today. So it was a plastic surgery assessment, and it's going to be for a breast reduction, because I've alluded to it a couple of times on here, but to begin with, my breasts are large. So, and I mean, I swear to God, I went from being a flat child to, it seemed like a couple of days, boom, I had like giant boobs, and it's just been like a pain in the ass basically ever since. So I've always wanted to do this, but it's expensive, and when I worked, I mean, I could have saved for it, but it would have meant like doing nothing else for years, because I didn't work at jobs where you make a lot of money, because what I cared about was being in bands at night. So what I wanted out of a job was not a career. My career was the career I wanted was happening at night, but I would have just like crappy service jobs, or sometimes I'd get like a little better one than usual, but generally I just didn't make very much money. I made enough to like take care of my living expenses, but there was not really any like surplus left over. So if I were to save, it just would have been like no beer. I don't think I could have cut out rehearsals. No weed. No speed, because I used to do that back then. No cigarettes. I mean, I just would have had to cut out so much. If I wanted to like save for this treatment, this operation that I need, I would have had to basically like give up everything just to be expedient about it, to like get it done as quickly as possible. So I did not do that, and it's been like 30 some years. And the part of the problem is that because of the size, they are heavy, and it's screwed up my shoulders and my back and my neck. And then like last year, I think, I noticed that one of my two decided it was going to start growing again. The other one didn't, but this one did. And I think it stopped But what has happened, like the place where it stopped growing, just it is just like my clothes don't fit right. Like whatever I'm wearing on top, unless it's a dress that's basically a long t-shirt, it's crooked, it's rolling up on one side, it's, you know, it's I don't even know the word because I don't want to say something that's going to get me in trouble on here. So just imagine frustrated, pissed off curse words about it. And but because of this, finally, I am apparently, that makes you eligible to get something done about it. So that was really good. That was like a really good appointment. I am so happy. And I do have to reduce my BMI, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem, because the reason why I've packed on so much is, yes, I'm eating stuff that's doing it, but there was quite a while before I got my trike that all I had was a wheelchair, and it's a self-propelled one. And one of my other issues is that, well, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and when I first started using the wheelchair, I lost like 60 pounds. So I was like all into it. And then I got injured. Because as my doctor told me, we're not meant to like ambulate that way. Like using our arms, you know, we're meant to use our legs. So I have ruined my shoulders now. And that meant I wasn't like, I have to get around in the thing, but I wasn't going out for any like exercise marathons anymore. Like I can barely, sometimes I have to take it like to the store or something, like to the market. And at the end of that, I'm not good in the shoulders for a couple of days. It's just completely aggravated. And then like recently, I know I talked about it in one of these videos I've done over the past weeks, that when I was in Walmart shopping, yeah, this is like a few weeks ago, the seat, there's a mount on a bike seat that attaches to a post on the trike, bicycle, whatever you have. And that mount, it obviously had some torsion going on, and it tore. It broke so that the seat just went, wow, and I thought I was going to fall back and hit my back of the head on the floor, so I totally strained on the handlebars, and that immediately just fucked my shoulders. So, I didn't have the bike then, but that meant, like, stuff like that would keep happening. Like, this, what I just said happened recently, but that, too, stopped me from doing, forget, like, wheeling around and trying to get exercise. I'm, like, in the house, and I can use my legs. Yes, I can use my legs, but they're not your hands or your arms, so it's not completely ideal. I still have to use them, but not as much. But man, I tell you, I had to stop like pretty much everything. If I went somewhere, I had to be wheeled out to the car, and you know, if I was going to a store, hopefully they had one of those electric carts. Otherwise, I had to stay in the car. It was just not good, and it had been going on, and not as badly as this last time, but it had been going on for a while. So this was a long time coming. The injury stuff just sort of over the past several years, making it kind of hard for me to get out there and sort of exercise at a rate that's going to even do anything. So then I finally got the trike, and I'm now starting to, you know, get back into a less blob situation. So I think I just wanted to talk about those things because I wanted to highlight the fact that while I was really kind of annoyed and upset, and by the way, just to make things a little bit more sort of maybe confusing, there's been like astrological stuff happening that has been like strong. It's affecting everyone. I don't care if you believe in it or not. It doesn't care if you believe in it. It's going to do its thing, and it's going to affect you. And if you doubt what I'm saying, think of it in terms of the moon, okay? They say the moon doesn't make people crazy when it's full, but if you talk to police and emergency rooms, they'll say maybe the same thing, but they will cop to the fact that violence kicks up during a full moon. So, and also, it affects the tides. And if you think that the water we have in us is not affected in a similar way that affects our moods, I would have to say, excuse me, but I think you're mistaken. So, in that way, all these other planets have stuff that they do to us, and I follow it because I kind of want to know what's coming to prepare myself, but often I'll start feeling it before what they've said when it's going to start. So that's kind of a gauge, but a lot of times, especially now that it's been happening for several years, or that I've been noticing it, I don't know, like, I've been changing in, I can't even tell you what kind of ways, but it's like different now, the way that it affects me. Like, I don't know, I guess I'm just kind of inch by inch learning how not to be so reactive and basically upset myself. So, with like the phone thing, I was upset and frustrated and all like pissed off for a minute, and then I just like threw it away because why? It wasn't helpful. And that was me fixing my mood, fixing my attitude. And I'm just saying all of this because I want it to be known that if you are feeling any of the crazy ways that I've been feeling, or if you've had things happen and it's like affecting you in ways that maybe you're not crazy about or can't control too, I mean, we do get affected by these things, and we may not even notice until we're like in the middle of it that we're acting differently. And so, oh, I know what I was going to say about my changing when it comes to like sensing is that on? Okay. Sensing what the transit is going to do, like to me personally. Since I've been changing, I don't really notice it in the same way now. And it's like, I have to focus on it in order to notice it now. But at least now I have this ability to focus on that and not like, but I don't have to do it the whole time. It's like, it'll just be like a certain thing that I am intent on, and everything else is just kind of like not even involved or something. I'm sort of losing my track, but I mean, that's basically it. It's like I used to really feel it like before, like two days to a week before, like some kind of retrograde or something was going to happen and make everything all messed up. And now it's like I barely feel it until I'm in it, which is almost like the beginning before, except for it feels different. So that may not sound like much if it's not happening to you, but if it is happening to you, boy, is it something. So but yeah, my point is that we don't have to like just devolve into it. Like I said, it was like at a point I was like, okay, I've been mad long enough, I'm done. And I wasn't able I wasn't able to always do that. You know, I would get stuck in whatever I was mad at and resentful about, and just holding a grudge forever. And it was not, it would not even be with like another person or anything. I'd just be mad at something that happened. That doesn't even make sense. What am I doing? You know? So it's just been like paying closer attention to what I'm feeling and how it's making me behave. And I think like being able to look at yourself and make that kind of examination, it makes it easier to be able to well, like move forward with stuff that's happening to you. But also you can be sort of like, I'm not saying that you have to do this if you get to a point like what I'm talking about, but what I'm saying is that you may have people talking to you about, like, you know, what are you doing? How like you were this way before and then now you're this, and what'd you do? How'd you do that? Or you know, do you have any tips? Whatever. So I really feel like that it was my looking at my own stuff and working through it, and it's not just like remembering bad shit and rehashing it, and like I don't know what anyone else does, but it's you can just, you sort of teach yourself how to do those things. And when you start like unraveling your own stuff, or I guess you sort of submit to purging, which is just like it sounds, like you're basically vomiting up all this stuff, this old crap and negativity that you don't need to be holding on to. And really, if you just think about it and you're just able to, you know, hork it up right then and there, then it needed to come out anyway. Like, it needed to be over, it needed to be done. And the point is that you can get messed up and feel all bent out of shape, but you can also fix yourself. And when you get to that stage, you start to be like instructive to other people. Like, they don't necessarily have to ask you about anything, they can just witness it. So I'm gonna end here talking about this stuff, but then I'm gonna do, I think, the cards next. So thank you for indulging me. Thank you and good night.